Good morning. Here we are with Omemee This Morning, and it is Pollinators Week. We're very fortunate to have Craig Darling from Darling Apiaries with us this morning, and he is going to talk the importance of bees with us. Craig, how many years have you been working with bees?
It's been about 19 years.
How did you get started working with the bees?
My father has been doing it since he was 20.
So it's a family business.
Yeah.
And something that's passed down father to son.
Yeah.
That's wonderful to have. Now, we have a jar of your honey here. What kind of honey is this?
It's just clover honey.
Mm-hmm. And are there... What's important to know about different kinds of honey?
Different kinds of honey. We can get light honey, which is this. It's #1 white honey. You can get dark honey, which is more honey from like goldenrod, plants from the fall. Mm-hmm. And you get buckwheat honey.
And they each have a different flavor.
Yeah.
And would you recommend different uses for the different types of honey?
Well, I mainly just eat this kind of honey.
You like the light the best?
Yeah. That's whatever you prefer.
Yeah. And how do you like to use honey?
I just put in my coffee and tea on my toast.
And I love honey when it's on an English muffin or raisin toast. It's just nothing like it.
Yeah.
You can't top that.
Yeah.
Now, there's been some problems with bees in the last few years.
Yeah.
Could you talk to us a little bit about that?
Well, I think it's a lot to do with the mites and the bees. Now they're getting, like the mites will go in the breeding tubes.
Oh my.
And it's making them susceptible to more diseases too.
So I wonder what spurred these mites coming all of a sudden.
Well, they were making their way over. I think it started in Europe, but then they went to the States and eventually made it over here. But we had it under control with the mites, but so that's why there's different theories of pesticides maybe, or the weather, and could be a factor of all these things.
I guess that if you had warmer weather, then the mites would live through the winter.
Yes.
And then you'd have more mites too.
Yeah.
Now, you were saying that you've gone from a large number down to a surprisingly big cut.
Yes, 400 hives down to about 30 now.
Wow. And bees are very important for our food in general.
Yes.
How's that?
Well, they pollinate all our flowers and plants, and if they don't get pollinated, they're not going to produce fruit.
So that it's so very important. So now, I know a lot of people, when they see a bee, they freak out. Now you're around bees all the time. What do you recommend to people if they see a bee? How should they react so that we can keep these bees around because they're so important?
Yeah. Well, it's mainly the honeybees. They never really see that much, and if they do, you just leave it alone. They'll fly away. It's
they're not interested.
The more they get a bad name from wasp and hornets and things like that.
Do wasps and hornets pollinate the same as bees?
No.
They don't. Oh, that's interesting.
Bumblebees do.
Bumblebees pollinate.
Yeah, they pollinate different flowers that, say, a honeybee couldn't get into.
Ah. So different flowers work for different bees.
Yes.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is a bee comes along, leave it alone. It's a good helper. It's a good helper, and it's going to make the food on your table.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for chatting with us.
Thank you.
And we're here at Mr. Convenience with our first ever broadcast from this location. It is Movie Monday, and we'll upload another YouTube in a few minutes telling you about the new movies that are coming out tomorrow. So stay tuned for the next YouTube that we will put with that.